Greetings today. Embark on an enthralling journey delving into the iconic TV series The Dukes of Hazzard. Fond memories surely linger for many of you. This timeless gem has etched itself into television history. Join us to relive the enchantment, reacquainting with the entire cast then and now. Discover the original identities and ages of the talented actors, witnessing their transformations in 2023. Without any delay, let's collectively immerse ourselves in the captivating world of the Dukes of Hazzard. Number 1. Tom Wopat portrayal of Lucas Luke, Duke in The Dukes of Hazzard, not only defined his career but left an indelible mark on television history. Wopat, a Marine Corps veteran and former boxer, brought a charismatic toughness to Luke, making him the driving force behind the Duke siblings' perpetual escape from the clutches of the nefarious Boss Hogg. Beyond his acting prowess, Wopat introduced the iconic Hood Slide, a move that became synonymous with the show's exhilarating energy. This daring maneuver, gliding effortlessly across the General Lee's hood, became a staple in the opening credits and a fan favorite moment throughout the series. Post Dukes, Wopat ventured into music, releasing 11 albums between 1983 and 2017. His foray into the country music scene yielded several top 20 hits, earning him a 1987 Academy of Country Music nomination for Best New Male Vocalist. Transitioning seamlessly into musical theatre, Wopat received Tony nominations for his standout performances in Annie Get Your Gun and A Catered Affair. Despite facing personal and professional challenges, including a 2017 arrest for assault and battery along the drug charges, Wopat maintained a resilient presence in the entertainment industry. He revisited the iconic Luke Duke character in Dukes of Hazzard TV movies, contributed to Duke's video games, and earned a Screen Actors Guild Award nomination for his role in Sybil. While major screen stardom eluded him post-Dukes, Wopat's enduring talent is evident through his recurring roles in Longmire and a supporting part in Quentin Tarantino's Django Unchained. Tom Wopat, with his multifaceted career, remains a celebrated figure in the entertainment realm, leaving an enduring legacy that extends far beyond the dusty roads of Hazzard country. Number 2. John Snyder as Bo Duke Boyd. Bo Duke, the younger, blonder, and more impulsive of the Duke brothers in Dukes of Hazzard, was a former stock car driver. Bo was often at the wheel of the General Lee and had a knack for finding trouble with Boss Hogg and Roscoe, usually instigated by his fascination with pretty girls, leading him into reckless adventures. John Snyder, a native of New York, clinched the role of Bo Duke at the tender age of 18, launching him into television stardom for a remarkable 7 seasons. While his relationship with the character faced occasional turbulence, including a walkout with Tom Wopat over merchandising royalties, the series didn't propel him to movie stardom. However, it did pave the way for a flourishing career as a recording artist, with Snyder charting 4 one singles on the US country chart between 1984 and 1986. Snyder's television success continued post-Dukes, setting him apart from many of his contemporaries. Notably, he portrayed Jonathan P. Kent on Smallville from 2001 to 2006 and took on series regular or recurring roles in The Secret Life of the American Teenager, Nip Tuck, and The Haves and the Have-Nots. Additionally, Snyder's ventured into directing and producing numerous faith-based films and established his independent production studio in Louisiana. Number 3. Catherine Bach, renowned for her iconic portrayal of Daisy Duke, transcended the boundaries of mere beauty, elevating her character beyond a symbol of allure in the acclaimed series. Daisy Duke, recognized for her eponymous cut-off shots, was more than a Southern belle. She possessed a blend of nerve, charm, and resourcefulness. Frequently finding herself in predicaments, Daisy relied on the Duke brothers for assistance. Her multifaceted character extended beyond aesthetics, showcasing impressive physical prowess. A skilled sharpshooter adept with guns and a bow and arrow, an accomplished equestrian and a driver rivaling the prowess of Bo and Luke. Daisy Duke's capabilities were truly remarkable. However, her Achilles heel lay in her penchant for falling her unsuitable suitors, oblivious to Deputy Ino's evident affection. Before achieving stardom as Daisy Duke, Catherine Bach navigated a path through minor roles in both film and television, including guest appearances on Policewoman. It was her portrayal of Daisy that catapulted her into the limelight. Notably, a poster featuring Bach as Daisy became a cultural phenomena, selling a staggering 5 million copies. Reflecting on her iconic image in 2022, Match disclosed that she did not perceive herself as M. Pinup, facing personal challenges including resistance from her husband regarding her career. Bach steered her own image. Despite the studio's proposal for an oiled bikini shot, she chose to shape much of her iconic persona herself. During her tenure on Dukes of Hazzard, Bach made appearances on other television programs, such as The Love Boat. Post the show's conclusion, she maintained a relatively low profile, although she reprised her role as Daisy for two TV movies. Bach's screen presence waned, taking on minor film roles and starring in the Family Channel series African Skies. Gradually returning to television in the new millennium, she made sporadic appearances including a recurring role on The Young and Restless, along with guest spots on Monk and Hawaii Five-O. Number 4. Denver Pyle as Uncle Jesse, the wise and protective uncle of the Duke siblings and their cousin Daisy, stood as a steadfast presence in their lives. A former mon a former moonshiner with a deep-seated feud against Boss Hogg, Uncle Jesse offered invaluable life advice, all while exuding a blend of kindly warmth and authentic Southern resilience. Denver Pyle, a talented character actor, brilliantly portrayed Jesse throughout the entire network run of Dukes of Hazzard. Pyle's remarkable career in front of the camera reached its culmination when he returned to reprise the role in the 1997 TV movie Dukes of Hazzard Reunion. Before his iconic role on Dukes of Hazzard, Denver Pyle had already established himself in the entertainment industry. He notably led the musical Darlene clan on the Andy Griffith Show, showcasing his versatility as an actor. This prelude paved the way for even more prominent projects, such as his memorable appearance in Arthur Penn's groundbreaking film Bonnie and Clyde, and his involvement in Disney's beloved Witch Mountain film. Pyle also found comedic success as the Mountain Man made Jack on the life and times of Grizzly Adams. Even after the conclusion of Dukes of Hazzard in 1985, Pyle continued to grace the screens, making guest appearances on shows like Alice and securing roles in feature films including Mel Gibson's Maverick. Alongside his acting career, Pyle ventured into directing, overseeing episodes of Dukes and other series like The Doris Day Show. Beyond his entertainment ventures, he amassed personal wealth through savvy oil investments. Sadly, Denver Pyle passed away from lung cancer at the age of 77 on December 25, 1997, shortly after being honored with a star on the prestigious Hollywood Walk of Fame. Number 5. Sorrel Book as Boss Hogg. At the epicenter of Hazard County's wheeling and dealing, both legal and illicit, stood the indomitable Jefferson Davis J.D. Hogg, colloquially known as Boss Hogg in the iconic television series Dukes of Hazzard. Boss Hogg's Machiavellian ascent to power unfolded against the backdrop of moonshine running lore and a protracted feud with the Duke family. Employing a shrewd network of corrupt land dealings, he masterfully orchestrated his dominion over the county, constantly devising new schemes to amass wealth and nursing a bitter enmity towards the dukes. The linchpin of Boss Hogg's revenue generating stratagems The linchpin of Boss Hogg's revenue generating stratagems was the infamous speed trap, a crafty contrivance that ensnared passing musicians, including luminaries such as Buck Owens, Tammy Wynette, and Waylon Jennings. Hogg, with an air of Fox magnanimity, offered these artists an opportunity to settle their fines by gracing the stage of this notorious establishment. Sorrel Book, a versatile character actor originating from Buffalo, New York, etched Boss Hogg's larger-than-life persona onto the annals of television history. Bookie, whose acting odyssey commenced in radio dramas, refined his craft through formal studios at Columbia and Yale before embarking on a career that spanned stage, film, and television. While his filmography included noteworthy titles like Fail Safe and Slaughterhouse-Five, it was his portrayal of Boss Hogg, complete with the character's iconic white suit and a touch of padding, that garnered him widespread recognition. Beyond Dukes of Hazzard, Bookie left an indelible mark on the small screen with appearances in acclaimed series such as Dr. Kildare, earning him an Emmy nomination in 1964, and iconic shows like MASH and All in the Family. Post the show's conclusion, Bookie continued to showcase his talents, albeit increasingly in animated series like Teeny Toon Adventures. Tragically, his vibrant career was cut short by colon cancer, and he departed this world on February 11, 1994, at the age of 64. Despite the final curtain falling on his life, Sorrel Bookie's legacy endures as Boss Hogg, a character synonymous with cunning and charisma in the realm of television folklore. Number 6. Waylon Jennings as the Balladeer. Known for crooning the beloved Good Old Boys, the iconic theme song of the Dukes of Hazzard also lent his rustic symmetry on the episodes of the series from 1979 to 1985. His narrations skillfully wove together the diverse plot lines, and offered humorous insights into the action, creating anticipation before each commercial break. Interestingly, despite playing a Fender guitar in the opening credits, the balladeer never made an on screen appearance during the show, a quirky detail that amused Van Jennings, the performer behind the character, and was playfully noted on the album and radio versions of the song. The distinctive world-weary voice of the balladeer belonged to the country music legend Van Jennings, who had previously undertaken similar roles in the feature film Moonrunners. Prior to the Dukes of Hazzard, with a remarkable career that included 16 number 1 hits on the Billboard country music charts, including the iconic Good Old Boys, Jennings began his musical journey performing alongside Buddy Holly. His destiny took a twist when he narrowly missed the fateful plane crash that claimed Holly's life in 1959. Jennings went on to become a prominent figure in the outlaw movement of country music during the 1970s. He also found success as a member of the country supergroup known as the Highwaymen, alongside Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, and Johnny Cash. Inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, Jennings' prolific career left an indelible mark on the world of music. However, at the age of 64, he passed away on February 13, 2002. In subsequent Dukes projects, the role of the balladeer was undertaken by a series of other accomplished performers, including country music stars Don Williams and M. Davis in the Dukes of Hazzard reunion, and Hazzard in Hollywood. Guitar virtuoso Junior Brown in the 2005 The Dukes of Hazzard feature, and actor Gary Cole in The Dukes of Hazzard The Beginning in 2007. Number 7. Ben Jones, better known as Scooter Crazy Kiter Davenport in The Dukes, left an indelible mark as a steadfast friend and ally of the iconic Duke family. Initially portrayed as a somewhat unpredictable character, the Crazy moniker aptly captured his early persona. However, as the series unfolded, Kiter evolved into a reliable sidekick, contributing not only camaraderie but also showcasing his automotive repair skills, tending to the beloved General Lee and other battered vehicles. What sets Jones apart is his unique distinction as the only series regular who also appeared in the precursor to the Dukes, the film Moonrunners, where he portrayed a revenue agent. Before his Dukes days, Jones had already graced the silver screen in notable films like Smokey and the Bandit, sharing the screens with Sonny Schroyer. Post The Dukes, Jones took an intriguing turn in his career from 1989 to 1993. He served 2 terms as a Georgia congressman, juggling his political duties with roles as the president of the Screen Actors Guild in Georgia and chairman of the Georgia Film Commission. In the contemporary landscape, Jones has seamlessly transitioned into political commentary, regularly contributing to newspapers and cable of new programs. Notably, he manages Scooter's Place, a trio of museums and stores dedicated to the Dukes, with locations in Virginia and Tennessee. Jones also spearheads the Good Old Boys festivals, featuring cast reunions and musical performances, attracting thousands of enthusiastic visitors. In essence, Ben Jones, beyond his memorable portrayal on screen, has become a multifaceted figure, seamlessly blending entertainment, politics, and cultural preservation. Number 8. James Best as Sheriff Roscoe Coltrane, one of the most recognizable characters from the Dukes of Hazzard. Beyond the Duke siblings was none other than Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane, Hazzard County's law enforcement officer. Known for his comically goofy antics, initially introduced in the show's first season as a stern southern lawman, actor James Best portrayed Roscoe with gusto. However, his broad portrayal proved to be a hit with young viewers, prompting the show's producers to transform the character into a purely comedic figure in subsequent seasons and reunion movies. Roscoe became an eccentric personality, frequently coining affectionate nicknames for his brother-in-law, Boss Hogg. He also developed distinctive catchphrases and uttered his trademark stuttering laugh. James Best, a character actor, embodied the role of Roscoe in nearly all of the series episodes. He briefly departed from the show due to a dispute concerning wardrobe facilities but later returned. Best also reprised the role in both the Dukes of Hazzard TV movies, earning himself the title of Hazzard County's boss. His career began at Universal Studios as a contract player, where his native Kentucky accent was well suited for Western films and television series. His diverse portfolio included roles in science fiction such as the cult classic Killer Shrews, as well as appearances in war dramas and episodes of renowned series like The Andy Griffith Show and The Twilight Zone, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and The Fugitive. Before joining the Dukes of Hazzard, Best enjoyed character roles in notable films such as Ode to Billy Joe, Rolling Thunder, and Hooper. These roles paved the way for his defining career moments during the 1980s and 90s. Outside of acting, Best remained active in various pursuits, including painting, music, and teaching acting to aspiring talents, including none other than Quentin Tarantino. James Best passed away at the age of 88 due to complications from pneumonia on April 6, 2015. Number 9. Sonny Schroyer, embodying the character of Enos in The Dukes of Hazzard, showcased a distinctive portrayal that set him apart from his superiors. Unlike many in his position, Enos harbored no ill will towards the Duke brothers, often admiring their exceptional driving skills. Throughout the early seasons, Enos diligently executed orders to apprehend the Dukes, yet did so without malice, even if his pursuits occasionally veered into unintentional aquatic escapades. An endearing facet of Enos's persona was his enduring affection for Daisy Duke. The narrative took a comical twist in season 7's Enos and Daisy's wedding, where he nearly married her but was thwarted by a sudden outbreak of hives, leading to the wedding's cancellation. However, the couple eventually found their way to the altar in the Dukes of Hazzard reunion, encountering yet another obstacle with the reappearance of Daisy's ex-husband, Craig Branham. Sonny Schroyer, already a seasoned actor with notable roles alongside Burt Reynolds in films like The Longest Yard and Smokey and the Bandit, brought a wealth of experience to the character of Enos. His popularity even spawned a short-lived spin-off series, Enos, and he reprised the role in various TV shows. Schroyer's acting prowess extended beyond the Dukes, featuring roles in iconic productions like Forrest Gump, where he portrayed football coach Paul Bear Bryant, and Ray, where he embodied former Louisiana Governor Jimmy Davis. With an impressive career spanning TV movies, video games, and diverse film roles, Schroyer's legacy as Enos remains a testament to his versatile and enduring contributions to the entertainment industry. Number 10. Rick Hurst as Cletus portrayed Cletus Hogg, a character who frequently joined forces with Enos in their pursuit of the Duke Boys during 55 episodes spanning from 1979 to 1982. Cletus, being a second cousin twice removed of Boss Hogg, assumed various roles during season 1 and 2, including that of a junkyard operator. However, in season 3, he became a full-time deputy at the Hazard County Sheriff's Department. Similar to Enos, Cletus didn't display an overwhelming zeal for chasing the Dukes, but he did share Enos's deep affection for Daisy. Prior to his stint on the Dukes of Hazzard, Rick Hurst was a diligent character actor who graced both the big and small screens throughout the 1970s. His credits included guest appearances on notable series like The Partridge Family, The Bob Newhart Show, and Kung Fu. He also made appearances in movies such as the Disney comedy The Cat from Outer Space, often under various aliases like Richard D. Hurst and Richard O. Hurst. Following the conclusion of Dukes, Hurst continued to actively pursue his acting career. He co-starred in the short-lived series Amanda's, which featured B. Arthur in the lead role. Hurst also made appearances on popular shows like Murder, She Wrote, The Wonder Years, and Perfect Strangers. Notably, his son Ryan Hurst also became a prolific TV actor, boasting an impressive list of credits that include Sons of Anarchy, The Walking Dead, and The Mysterious Benedict Society. Number 11. Peggy Ria's portrayal of Lulu Hawk in Dukes of Hazzard was a testament to her versatile talent as a character actress. Over 19 episodes, she transformed the character from a stereotypical rolling pin-wielding wife into a compassionate figure, showcasing her ability to breathe life into roles. Lulu, also the sister of Roscoe P. Coltrane, went beyond the confines of her expected character arc by forming a genuine and friendly bond with Daisy Duke. Moreover, her character became an unexpected champion for women's rights in Hazard County, requiring her to navigate the challenges posed by her smaller but vociferous spouse, Boss Hogg. Peggy Ria's career, which began on the stage in the late 1940s, blossomed into a remarkable journey across Broadway productions in the 1950s. Transitioning seamlessly to television, her early appearances on I Love Lucy set the stage for a steady stream of roles, leaving an indelible mark on shows like 77 Sunset Strip and Family Affair. Notably, her multiple memorable appearances on classics such as Gunsmoke and All in the Family showcased her versatility, solidifying her status as the de facto matriarch of the Walton family in the final seasons of The Waltons, with her role as Olivia Walton's cousin Rose Burton. Rhea concurrently continued her impactful work on Dukes of Hazzard. Her legacy extended to recurring roles in later series like Step by Step and Grace Under Fire, with the latter marking her final project in the small screen entertainment world. Peggy Ria's passing at the age of 89 on February 5, 2011, due to complications of heart failure, marked the end of a prolific career that left an enduring imprint on the landscape of television. Number 12. Don Pedro Colley as Sheriff Little. Sheriff Big Ed Little stood in stark contrast to Roscoe P. Coltrane when it came to law enforcement in Hazard County. His debut in season 3 as introduced by Boss Hog's son Bo Hug portrayed Big Ed as the no-nonsense sheriff of Chickasaw County, a neighboring jurisdiction that shared little love with both the Dukes and the Hazard County Police Force. Big Ed's tough exterior was matched by his willingness to destroy cars with his bare hands or wield a shotgun when provoked. Unfortunately, despite his intimidating demeanor, Ed's ability to apprehend the Dukes was no more successful than Roscoe's. Don Pedro Colley portrayed the formidable Big Ed Little in 13 episodes of Dukes of Hazzard. Standing at an impressive 6'4", this Oregon native and former high school athlete ventured into acting through an improvisational comedy group. His television debut occurred in a 1967 episode of Tarzan alongside Ron Ely. Colley's towering presence often led to roles as strong silent characters, including appearances in George Lucas's THX 1138 and Beneath the Planet of the Apes. Notably, he portrayed the enigmatic Baron Samedi, Lord of the Dead, in the unappreciated 1974 horror film Sugar Hill. Throughout the 1980s and 90s, Colley found consistent work on television with recurring roles on series like The A-Team and of course Dukes of Hazzard. He continued to grace both the big and small screens well into the new millennium. His final acting credits include Midnight Massacre, a low-budget modern adaptation of Julius Caesar featuring his apes co-star Linda Harrison and Byron Cherry from Dukes. Tragically, Don Pedro Colley passed away at the age of 79 due to cancer in his hometown of Klamath Falls, Oregon, on October 11, 2017. Number 13. Jeff Altman's portrayal of Huey Hogg in Dukes of Hazzard left an indelible mark, infusing the character with mischievous charm. In his 6 appearances on the show, Altman, a standout figure in 1970s stand-up comedy, embraced the role of Boss Hogg's nephew, mimicking the iconic white suit and steer horn-adorned car. Huey's relentless pursuit of schemes to bring down the Dukes mirrored his uncle's endeavors, resulting in his comical and unceremonious injection from Hazzard after each failed attempt. Altman's comedic prowess extended beyond Dukes of Hazzard. In the mid-70s, he graced series like Mary Hartman, Mork and Mindy, and WKRP in Cincinnati. Notably, his portrayal of the pizza parlor owner in a memorable episode of the latter showcased his versatile acting skills. The 1980 variety series Pink Lady and Jeff marked a unique chapter in Altman's career, pairing him with the popular Japanese singing duo Pink Lady despite critical panning. Post Pink Lady, Altman's career flourished. He ventured into feature films with easy money and secured recurring roles on TV series such as Baywatch and Nurses. Numerous guest appearances on Late Night with David Letterman showcase his comedic talents. Altman, undeterred by challenges, remains active in both comedy and magic performances, proving that his entertainment career has stood the test of time and continues to flourish. Number 14. Patrick Cranshaw as Doc Petticoat. Although Dr. Henry Doc Petticoat is more often spoken of than seen on Dukes of Hazzard, he plays a vital role in tending to the health of the Dukes and their friends throughout several episodes spanning seasons 1 to 3. In a memorable season 1 episode titled Double Sting, Doc becomes suspicious of a potential plague outbreak in town and takes the cautionary measure of placing the county courthouse under quarantine. He resurfaces in season 3's and in this corner Luke Duke, where he assesses Scooter's well-being after a lively sparring session with Luke. Doc's medical expertise also receives mention in various other episodes including season 2's Duke vs. Duke, where it's noted that he tends to cure sprained ankle. Character actor Patrick Cranshaw portrayed the role of Dr. Petticoat during his two on-screen appearances on Dukes. While Cranshaw is perhaps most recognizable for his role as the elderly frat brother Blue in Old School, his acting journey began in the early 1960s with minor roles in low-budget and exploitation films primarily shot in his native Southwest. Born in Oklahoma, Cranshaw often found himself in diverse roles, such as playing bank clerks in films like Bonnie and Clyde, alongside Denver Pyle portraying hobos in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and taking on countless senior citizen characters in various TV series including Green Acres, Wonder Woman, and Different Strokes. Over time, Cranshaw climbed the ranks in the entertainment industry, securing recurring roles on shows like Alice and Mork and Mindy. Sadly, Patrick Cranshaw passed away from pneumonia at the age of 86 in Fort Worth, Texas on December 28, 2005. Ultimately, the Duke boys didn't succumb to the long arm of the law but faced an unexpected halt when TV Land removed the Dukes of Hazzard reruns from its lineup. For numerous fans, the cast and their adventures evoke cherished memories, making the show's absence palpable. The camaraderie and charm of the Dukes of Hazzard have carved a special niche in the hearts of its audience, leaving a void that resonates with those who dearly miss the iconic characters and their escapades. Thanking you to watch this video.